Stay a little longer, the morning's still in bloom. The sunlight pours like honey across this little room. The teapot knows the melody, the daisies know the light, and somehow all the ordinary things have never felt so right. The world can wait outside the door. There's always time for one cup more. Stay a little longer, the tea is still warm. The windows hold the morning, safe from every storm. Stay a little longer, there's nowhere else to be. The chair across the table has always waited patiently. The cat looks up for just a moment, then decides you're safe to stay. He stretches like the afternoon, though it's barely started day. The pages of an open book rest quietly nearby. The kettle hums a little jazz as clouds drift through the sky. No questions now, no need to explain. Some hearts arrive before their names. Stay a little longer, the sunlight fills your cup. The tiny things we've overlooked are quietly enough. Stay a little longer, the room already knows that peace is sometimes nothing more than letting the morning go slow. Maybe home is not a building, maybe home is not a place. Maybe home is someone saying, take your time with gentle grace. Maybe healing sounds exactly like porcelain and tea, and someone smiling softly from across the table at me. Stay a little longer, stay a little longer. The sparrows start to sing, the flowers lean toward the window as if they know everything. Stay a little longer before the hours fly. The tea is warm, the jazz is playing, and so is life. The kettle sighs, the curtains sway. The cat closes his eyes as if to say, there's always room for one more cup. Stay a little longer. The chair across from me has never felt alone. It waits beneath the morning light like it has always known. The teapot hums a quiet tune, the daisies softly sway, and somehow all the little things have been expecting you today. No invitation, no ceremony. The door was open quietly. The chair across from me has saved a little space for conversations without hurry and silence full of grace. The chair across from me, the sunlight seems to know. Some hearts hearts don't need directions, they simply find their way home. The cat inspects your footsteps and decides you may come in. He circles once around the table before curling up again. The book lies open patiently, the cookies still remain, and the kettle sings a melody against the window pane. No introductions, no disguise, the warmest welcome needs no lines. The chair across from me has waited all this time for little cups of jasmine tea and stories without rhyme. The chair across from me, the morning smiles anew. The room feels somehow brighter simply because of you. Maybe kindness looks like porcelain with tiny painted flowers. Maybe friendship sounds like jazz floating through quiet hours. Maybe home is not a destination or a road we're traveling through. Maybe home is a wooden table that quietly makes room for two. The chair across from me, the sparrows fill the sky, the curtains dance with golden light as clouds go drifting by. The chair across from me will always have its place for one more cup, one more smile, one more moment shared with grace. The tea grows warm, the sunlight streams, the cat still dreams, the kettle sings, and somewhere in the quiet kitchen, an empty chair stops being empty. Nothing needs to be said, the morning already knows. The sunlight on the table, the quiet little rose. The kettle hums and whispers, the curtains softly sway, and all the tiny ordinary things have found their gentle way. No clever words, no perfect line. Some moments bloom by taking time. Nothing needs to be said, the tea is speaking first. The porcelain remembers every laughter, every thirst. Nothing needs to be said, the silence understands. Some conversations happen without ever leaving our hands. The cat has closed his emerald eyes, he's listening to the room. The daisies lean toward the window, the morning starts to bloom. The open book keeps waiting, its pages breathing slow. But somehow even stories know when not to steal the show. The little clock still keeps its beat, yet somehow time forgets the street. Nothing needs to be said, the sunlight fills the air, presence is already there. Nothing needs to be said. The music softly plays like tiny footsteps made of jazz, walking through the day. Maybe all the finest friendships begin before hello, like birds that find the morning without needing where to go. Maybe hearts are quiet readers of melodies unseen, finding home in little pauses between the words we've been. Nothing needs to be said. The teacups gently shine. The sparrows write their silver songs across the morning sky. Nothing needs to be said. The whole room seems to smile, and suddenly forever feels exactly like a little while. The kettle sighs, the curtains dance, the flowers glow, the cat still naps, and somewhere in the quiet sunlight, two hearts share the same silence. Silence. You can leave tomorrow. The morning's just begun. The tea is pouring slowly like melted little suns. The daisies by the window have only just awoken, and every beam of golden light feels like a promise spoken. No suitcase, no train, just one more cup and gentle rain. You can leave tomorrow. Today belongs to tea, to quiet little moments and simple company. You can leave tomorrow. The world will understand. Sometimes the finest journey is never leaving where you stand. The cat has claimed the corner chair as if he owns the day. He blinks at us with sleepy wisdom, then quietly looks away. The open book stays patient. The cookies wait their turn. And somehow every little thing has something left to learn. The clock still ticks, the sky still shines, but peace arrives in borrowed time. You can leave tomorrow. The kettle softly sings. The smallest conversations become the biggest things. You can leave tomorrow. The sunlight fills the room, and even silent mornings find a way to bloom. Maybe happiness is humble. It never needs applause. It hides inside warm porcelain and comfortable pauses. Maybe home is simply hearing someone gently say, stay a little longer, the day can wait. You can leave tomorrow. The sparrows ride the sky. The curtains dance with morning breeze. breeze as little clouds drift by. You can leave tomorrow, but if you choose to stay, we'll pour another cup and let the jazz carry the day. The teapot smiles, the flowers glow, the cat approves the moment's flow, and somewhere in the quiet kitchen, tomorrow waits, but not today. You were expected, though we never set a time. The morning laid the table with daisies dressed in white. The kettle knew your footsteps before they reached the door, and somehow this little kitchen felt brighter than before. No knocking, no excuse. This little room was saving you of you. You were expected. The teacups seemed to know why sunlight lingers longer where gentle people go. You were expected. No reason to explain. Some hearts arrive like springtime, some smiles arrive like rain. The cat looked up for just a second, then curled himself once more, as if he'd already decided you belonged here before. The open book stayed waiting, the cookies stayed untouched, because the finest welcome is never in a rush. No perfect words, no grand surprise, just warm porcelain and quiet eyes. You were expected. The flowers softly lean toward every little happy thing that happens in between. You were expected. The morning gently smiled, as if the whole wide world had slowed down for a while. Maybe kindness sets a place long before we know a name. Maybe home begins the moment someone says you came. Maybe all the little sparrows singing high above the trees have been practicing this welcome on the morning breeze. You were expected. The jazz begins to play. The sunlight warms the wooden table in its unhurried way. You were expected. And now the room feels true, as if this little kitchen had always been waiting for you. The kettle sighs, the curtains sway, the cat keeps dreaming, the flowers stay. And somewhere in the quiet morning, a chair no longer waits, because you're here.